Hey, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being with me. I'm your host, Brian. This is the BrianTMurray YouTube channel. It's time for another encouragement session. This might be a banger, and we are dealing with uh, the Manosphere. The title of this one is "The Manosphere is the Megachurch for Mainly Men." The Manosphere is the Megachurch for mainly men. I want to talk about this is because I think what's really catching on is this is men's reaction to a dominant effeminate society that's been dominant for the past 40 years. Happy wife, happy life. Okay, I think men are finally speaking up, and it's very good. The council culture is dealing with the manosphere head on. Is not really succeeding the way that they like. It's because I think that there is a different kind of power within men. I think it's a different kind of power within men. Um, we love our women, and a lot of positive things have happened over these last 40 years, and we can't act like it hasn't. Okay, we are happy that women have cultivated their voice. Um, the issue that has come ahead is that it has been going so well over the last 40 years that the average woman thinks she's better than the average man. And this is where we have a problem. Okay? So, um, I don't, it's just very problematic in so many areas, and we're in the number one place we're seeing it in, other than relationships and marriages, we're seeing it in the church. Okay, so one, I really want to deal with this is because one, I grew up into the church. I'm proud of that. However, I'm not necessarily proud of everything that I have been through. Being a male, being a young boy, being raised in the church, and I can attest to firsthand what it was like being cultivated in a church that's 80% women. You know, the average church, storefront, middle class church, community church, or megachurch, the average church has 80% women. I think that's problematic for a variety of reasons. Is because by it being dominant by women for decades, you basically have a feminine eccentric message. Well, what do you mean? What I mean is men have stopped going to the church over the past few years. I mean, the majority of men. Well, why is that? Did Satan snap them up? Uh, no. Satan did not snap them up, whatever that means. Um, the message just has nothing to do with the modern day man. It has nothing. I mean, nothing. I mean, when you go to your children's like school plays, it's not for you. It's you to support them. But imagine going to school plays every week for 15, 20, 30 years. And it's like, all right, it's time for y'all to stop doing school plays now. Where is the grown-up play? Yeah, it has just gotten to a point where it's just like the pastor is a man, but he hasn't said anything, anything that has any significance to do with me directly. You know, one of the many things I hate growing up was I hate going to church and watching people have church. I think most men know what I mean by that, but I'll explain. For an example, watching this one particular church that we fellowship with, that we supported over the years, they were like old time Pentecostal. Okay, fine, but it just got to a point where it was just a overwhelming annoyance. Like, y'all have sang and danced for 45 minutes, and then when it comes to the word, you're only given an encouraging word. And your encouraging word has nothing to do with me. I mean, I have grown man problems. Either married, single, divorced, or whatever. Nothing you have said has anything to do with me. Sure it does. Jesus saves. What does that mean? Like, really, like, how do you convert that to what I deal with on a day-to-day basis? See, the church is just so comfortable being in cruise control and uttering out cliches that it meant something in the 80s. It has no relevance in the 21st century. Yet, women will gladly high five over it. Like, what does that mean? Which means what you just said was emotional. It was a cue for somebody in your clique to have an emotional response to what you just said. You have said nothing. Like, nothing. The reason being, men generally don't dwell. We may show up, but we don't dwell in areas that don't deal with logic. Church has become so hit or miss, so emotional, so keyboard manufactured, organ keyboard, what have you, that you're not saying anything. You're not saying anything practical. I get all the faith talk. I'm really into that. But it's just magical words. It's just magical words. It's like, let's say you are trying to get into college, and you go to the admissions office about how you need to properly enroll and incorporate financial aid successfully, and what department do you register, and all these. You need solid practical answers. But what if they just give you magical words? What if in the admissions office they have a keyboard player, and the person at the admissions office just gives cliches? That is what it has been like being in the church for the past 40 years. Now, the majority of the men that don't feel this way are leaders in the church. Why? Because they're also shareholders. It's their ministry. It's their church. They're sitting here right now hearing this like, I don't feel the way. I didn't say anything. No. Why? Because it's yours. I'm very grateful for me to not be in any leadership position where I can honestly speak, and it's like, yeah, I can see why men just ignore church. Because nothing you have to say that deals with them. The next thing is, it is overly intoxicating to the average modern woman. Women love it. Why? Because it's basically for them. remember the example I gave about you supporting your kids and you're just always supporting the school plays. It's like as a mother you're proud, as a father you're proud, but in particular as a father, it's like you get to a point where you get exhausted because you know it's nothing that's happening is about you. You don't mind supporting, you don't mind showing up, but when it's continuously not about you, it's not about you, it is about Jesus. But watch this. When it's continuously nothing for you, now we have it. There's nothing for you. It's nothing for you. It's nothing for you. It's the same cliches. And my pastor, God bless him, he is on a 30 message cycle. Meaning he got about 30 sermons and he rotate them bad boys over. You will hear the same sermon 4 times throughout a calendar year. To some, that may sound like that may not sound like a lot, but because the church is so but before COVID, I'm sure even now, is so successful at growing, he has to do it is because they get so many new people. So those of us that been there for a few years, is like, where's my coat? Because what's happening is you're not seeing the growth in the messages. You're not seeing the growth. It's like watching a show on Netflix and you never have a season 2. You see a climax, and like, okay, and then they go right back to episode 1. It's like, typically you stop just watching that show. I'm not saying church is entertainment, but I'm making a point here. This is crazy because you have nothing for the average modern man. You're giving him something that he didn't ask for, and you're not giving him something that he needs. A man does not need emotion. He needs a compass. He needs a compass. How do I deal with this? How do I deal with that? What happens when I go through this? What happens when I go through that? Well, you would think, oh, well, that's why they have a men's ministry. Number one, men's ministry is about 90 minutes, 60 minutes, 90 minutes, and it don't even touch the tip of what a man goes through, because you still have church propaganda. And then even then, you don't see men in there that looks like you. The average man in men's ministry is middle age, like really middle age, like 50, 55 and up. They may still wear Under Armour, but it's like, dog. So you have that, and then what else you have? You have the young adult ministry that's still dominated by women, and the males that in there are effeminate. They're effeminate. I was in the mall the other day, waiting for the Pastor Hennett to show up, and like I saw this group of 5 guys, and they was walking so close together. Like, why are y'all walking so close together? You're walking like teenage girls. Why are you walking so close together? You're inside the mall. Like why are you doing that? It's like a different world. It's like a totally different world. This is crazy. And I hear the frustration and I understand the frustration. Because there was a time where I loved church. There was a time when I loved church. The time when I loved church was when I felt comfortable in the church. I stopped feeling comfortable in the church when I start feeling attacked in the church. Well, what do you mean attack? When women have a problem with you, or they hear something about you, it gets very cold in there. And the answer clearly can't be, well, just don't do nothing wrong. You're being judged by women who have more issues than you. But because you're a man, they have to have this solid aggression in you, towards you, in the entire environment. Like, look at this. You already can't draw men to begin with. And then you beat the ones you do have. You try to beat them into submission socially. Socially, passive aggressively. The men that you approve of, you acknowledge them. Oh, I approve of John. Oh, I approve of Donald because he does what I want him to do. But the ones who don't do what I want done, this is crazy. This is crazy. Because that's what it's like growing up in this society as a man. As a man, you are taught to be overly agreeable. Yeah. Like, the moment you show any manly emotion, you are confronted. It's like you have a baby cub that naturally is going to growl. And because he's a cub, you're not bothered by it because you think it's cute until he grows. And when he grows and you lose influence over him, now he's a threat. You don't feel as comfortable around him. It still comes down to control. He's just being him. His mane is coming through. His growl is getting harder. It's getting more profound. He's not a terror. He's competent. It's no reason to. There's no need to be afraid of him because he is who he is. You need to look at yourself. One, I don't see the point for praying to get married when you hate men. I don't see the point of that. Whew. What do you mean by that? You have not reconciled with your father, your uncle, your brother or brothers, your cousins, your male cousins. You have not reconciled with them. So why would God give you a man who is another version of them that you already don't approve of? What you think is going to happen? Because he's going to reach to the point when he growls and you're not going to like it. Look at the common denominator. You have blamed generations of men in your family, but you still don't think it's you. This is the problem with that. The church does not promote mental health. No, you promote Jesus, but you don't promote mental health. When you have a physical trauma, you have a physical therapist. While everybody's praying for you and lifting your name up in prayer and you have your healing scriptures, you know you still got a 2 p.m. appointment with a physical therapist. But why do we not do this with a behavioral therapist? You know, as a woman, you have dated 15 guys. You know only 2 of them were okay. 13 of them were jerks. But yet you still suffered them. And you think you came out of that okay? No. No, you didn't. No. And you think it's all men's fault. You're delusional. You're delusional. So, because women are 80% of the population or attendance or membership in the church, the pastor's like, oh, this is easy. Don't upset the sponsors. So let me rev up the sponsorship. So everything you're saying is affirmation and confirmation to the women. As the men who can't leave because they're married, they're just sitting there. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. He's just playing his role. Thank you, Lord. Yes. Never get tired of this. That's what it's like growing up in the church. It is a huge echo chamber that has nothing to do with you. When you do something that is acceptable to the women, you get the proverbial pat on the head as if you're a pet. Like, your only purpose there is to serve God and serve them. Oh, I got 4 bags of ice. I know brother so-and-so will handle it. It's like, yeah, he probably should. But here is the thing. When you have 20, 30, 40 years of that expectation, but you know you can't return a... You know brother so-and-so can't ever ask you for a favor. And you outnumber him 8-1. Yeah. You think it's a man's job to serve you. You think it's a man's job to serve you. You think it's a man's job to serve you. But yet, if he was to even act like, hey, sister so-and-so, can you... Who the F do you think you are? No. That's the double standard works when it works for you. Oh yeah, it works when it works for you. But if it was to ever act like it wouldn't work for you, oh no, terrible. See, the church don't ever have to worry about you because all they gotta do is not upset you. You know, when you're of a certain age and you have 1 to multiple children out of wedlock by multiple fathers, but yet you still act like Prince Charming is coming, the church is like, God will bless you. They don't ever have to deal with that. It's like, I've caught public transportation for 38 years of my life. There were numerous times, if not countless times, where the bus simply wasn't coming. Ladies, there's certain areas in your life where the bus is just not coming. And there's people around you that are not telling you. When I would wait for the bus and someone would travel from whatever direction and they're like, I don't think the bus is coming. That was, to a certain level, gratifying because it gave me an opportunity to rethink the situation. Like, okay, I need to do something different. I need to do something different. As I said countless times, I'm waiting for the bus and the bus don't come. It just don't come. It just don't come. So walk down to the metro, call a Lyft or call an Uber, call a friend, walk the rest of the distance, whatever you gotta do. But some areas in your life, the bus is not coming. But see, the church don't have to ever say that to you. Because the church can encourage you for 30, 40, 50 years and you think that particular blessing is going to come. It's like, no. And no one has to tell you. Everybody can just keep lying to you. No, the one is not coming. The one is, you're not looking for a husband, you're looking for a stepfather. But no one has ever said that to you. The bus is not coming. And the stepfather you are looking for is a highly agreeable man. A highly agreeable man. You had sex with Pookie, Ray Ray, and Nug Nug. But the husband you want is highly agreeable. No. And the church has never addressed that in the last 40 years, by and large. Why? Because you don't want to upset the women. See, the women's response to the Manosphere is, oh, they're all misogynistic. No. Number one, no. Two, that's the easy way out. That's the easy way out. Do you know it's easy to say they just hate women instead of actually listening to them? It's easy. It's easy. For black employees to file complaints at the job, it's easy to say, oh, they are just complaining, instead of actually listening to their actual complaints. Oh, they're just black people acting up. Get out of here. They're just black. Right, that wouldn't go well, would it? No, it wouldn't. It wouldn't. So why is it when men of like mind, different backgrounds, but yet like-mindedness, just come together all over the world digitally, and because we had no fathers to walk us through this, we just talk it out among ourselves. Generation X, millennials, zennials, talk it out. We have men who are excellent, and mind you, and it's not just all men. No, we have women that is a part of the Manosphere, but they get the bulk of the verbal abuse. They get the bulk of it. Why? It's because they're called all kind of bad names. I don't see the point of logging onto someone's platform and cussing them out. I don't see the. Why not just not watch them? Okay. So the Manosphere, men have came together rapidly in the last 2 years. The Manosphere existed the last 3 to 5 years, but COVID had brought us together very quickly. The first person I heard speak against women's bad behavior was actually a woman. Not in church, not in my home, not growing up. It was Rebecca Lynn Pope. She was the first human being that dealt with women's bad behavior. And I was like, God of mercy. Where did this goddess come from? It's because as men, we always mindful of it. We think about it. But what it was is that we all had horror stories, lengthy horror stories, but we didn't think it was global. Because of the internet, because number one, women speaking up against other women's bad behavior, we didn't think it was global. So when men start coming together and sharing their stories, and it's like, wait a minute, this is crazy. I don't know you, brother, but you told me 3 stories, and I had the identical experience. Now, to be fair, women can say the same thing, but keep in mind, women exponentially outnumber men. So the men they are complaining about is a small portion, namely the 16% of men that are having the majority of the babies in this country. I would take it that further. This 16% of men are also the 16% of men that have children with multiple women. So women who are having babies by men who are fully aware that these men have children in other places. Why? It's because they're repulsed by the average man. So it's more exciting to have sex with a Pookie, a Ray Ray, and a Nug Nug. Women hate boredom. They hate boredom. They like the schizophrenic attitude that they can have and keep, and no one can ever contest them on it. But yet, when they see it in their mothers and their sisters, and they all have to live under the same roof, it's like hell to them. It's like, yes, you get what you put out. The Manosphere has been a blessing to my life. It's because my father was not in the home. His clothes was, his shoes were, but he wasn't. You don't get credit for that. You get zero credit for that. So my story is not unique to 80% of households, because men aren't present in the homes. And that necessarily doesn't make them 100% their fault, but it is what it is. You have the next generation of children who have no day-to-day experience with dealing with a man. So they got to figure it out. Boys have to figure it out. Girls have to figure it out. And when they figure it out, which typically doesn't happen until middle school, high school, is like the first time that they're dealing with male authority. And even then, because of school, you totally just write it off. You're not dealing with male authority until you get in the workforce and you have a problem because you have little to no experience with dealing with a man on a day-to-day basis. The Manosphere is where you have an opportunity with men all over the world. All over the world. It is not just America. No. They can tell their stories. They can give their expertise. They can share on news clippings and everything that is happening. Educating, entertaining, and informing men. Educating, entertaining, and informing men. These are things that we have not gotten out of the black church over the last 40 years. I had a conversation with my father, and I tell him, and this means absolutely nothing to him. I would say, yeah, who was also my first pastor. It's like, you never taught us about life. It's like, well, I taught y'all the Bible. The Bible is life. And I was like, no, that is not correct. That is not correct. That is another excuse for not being a father. No, that is a poor excuse. Absolutely not. That is not an adequate response. Absolutely not. That is crazy. So there is this platform on YouTube. It's called "Why Did Men Leave the Church?" And the number one reason that I have caught, I'm not watching whole episodes. I'm just watching snippets. We all say the same thing. Nothing that's being said has anything to do with us. I remember September of 2016. I'm at my church. We have a training session. Training for ministry in the 21st century. one of the most interesting trends that was coming up is the rise of Latinos in black churches. I thought that was fascinating. It's like, okay. The church that I go to is in Prince George's County. They said statistically there will be an overwhelming number of Hispanic residents in Prince George's County. So the church has to get ready now for the incoming Hispanics. And I'm saying it's like, yeah. But here's the thing. Is this Hispanic women? Because again, you haven't addressed average everyday men. Number one, the church I go to is overwhelmingly heavy-handed. Overwhelmingly. I mean, they are excellent at what they do. That means you better love what's happening. Because if you don't, you're like, wait a minute, what is this for again? Isn't this volunteer work? You all acting like we're working at the White House. Okay, what is happening? It is crazy. I'm like, I need everybody in a white shirt to calm down. That's what I need. This is crazy. It is insane. It is insane. It's very distasteful. It's because you're heavy-handed and you have nothing to say that's relevant to me. I don't know. I kind of understand the lack of men. You have nothing to say. Nothing to say. Yeah, and I was at the men's ministry one Saturday morning, and like they always have refreshments ready for the men. You know, like coffee, fruit, bananas, muffins, whatever, blah 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 blah. So I got in late. I'm leaning up against the wall, taking in the ministry that's taking forth or whatever, and like I'm eating a muffin watching what was happening. I'm not aware that I'm dropping crumbs. Okay, so one of the brothers next to me, he plucks me or he pinches me or something. It just rubbed me the wrong way. He has this mean mug and he's pointing at my feet, and the crumbs are there, and I'm like, okay, well, it was a better way of doing that. Like, you're an a-hole. And I see the same behavior throughout the men's ministry. It's like, oh, again, you're trying to make men overly agreeable by being overbearing. I remember another time I got to the church. I was going to their 8 a.m. service. I'm walking in. I'm rushing in. An older gentleman is walking. I hear him talking, but like I'm not, an older gentleman, and like I'm finally listening to what he's saying. He's talking to me. The last thing I hear him say is, "Young man, take your hat off in the building, or I'll find somebody to take that hat off for you." I'm looking at him. It's like, this 900-year-old a-hole was talking to me, and this is what he's saying. He can't even stand up straight. Meaning, I have had an experience like that at First Baptist Glenarm, like 100 times. Like, different people. It's like, no, these aren't isolated cases. This is like a overwhelming, just like, yo. I'm there another Sunday. I'm there at their 12 o'clock service, and the pastor's doing something with the young children. Okay. So they are doing something. Okay. Everyone's applauding, happy for him, praising God for him. Okay, fine. He wants the young boys, as the young ladies go up and down the stairs. They want the young boys to go down first and hold out their hand to like escort the young girl down, the corresponding young girl down the stairs. Okay, fine. No problem with it. There was this one boy that didn't do it. I don't think he meant to do it on purpose, but the response was very distasteful. The pastor plucked him in his head, and he said something. He was like, "Do what I asked you were to do." Now, I don't know if that was his 100th time of not doing that, but it was just heavy-handed. I was like, what am I watching? When the pastor did that, all the women erupted. They're like, yes, train them, Lord. Train them. Oh, bless God, train them. Train them. And the pastor just emphasized the importance of training young boys to be men. And I'm like, wait. Number one, keep your hands to yourself. Keep your hands to yourself. That's the first thing you have to learn. Number one, he's 6 years old. Everyone in here is heavy-handed. I understand you all are the most successful church or top tier. I get it. But it's like, yo, let's bring it down a notch. Let's bring it down a notch. No. This is problematic. This is problematic, man. This is a microcosm of what church has been for the past 40 plus years, making men overly agreeable, in so much that the women know that if there's ever a problem, if you're in a relationship or a marriage, all they got to do is run to the pastor and something will be done. So we have another man being held to a higher level of respect in his home that the man is paying for. This is why men ignore women and ignore church. Why? Because men are not respected. They are seen as, for a couple things, something to be utilized and someone to be feared. Someone to be utilized or someone to be feared. Oh, all we gotta do is get the men. It's like, number one, if you ask nicely, all the women in church act like the men work for them. I mean, it's this isn't one time, two times, three times. This is the better part of 40 years. The attitude towards women in the church is, you better cooperate. You better cooperate. And men is like, I can stay here and argue, or I can just moonwalk from this situation forever. So where did all the men go? The men, they went digital, telling their stories. No matter all the goofiness that I have dealt with in church, I never held it against Jesus. I never held it against Jesus. I never held it against Jesus. I may have been angry at him for a moment, while I was going through it, but I never held it against Jesus. I know it's these goofballs over here. It's these goofballs. I know that's what it is. It's these goofballs. Now, I'm not at all suggesting men in church never done anything wrong, because if you listen to me, I just said all the things that men have done wrong. Men do things wrong to other men. It's not just men doing things wrong against women. Okay, no, it's like, yo, y'all have a marketing problem here. Y'all have a marketing problem. No, the average church man is a simp, and their pastor is the mega simp. You see the men in church, it's like, I don't want any part of this. I don't want any part of this. Now, Jesus, give me some more of that, but all this, it's like the Simp Academy in this joint, man. No, all they're doing is raising up young men to take their punches. It's like, what is this for again? This is for Jesus. No, it's not. This is for you. This is for you. No, this is insane. This is insane. Your job doesn't even treat you like this. It's a high level of hazing that goes on in church, and I don't understand what it is. It's like, y'all would be theoretically the most anti-haze type of place. But y'all have a high level of hazing over crap that men don't even care about. That's what I don't understand. Y'all, yeah, the church have a huge marketing problem. Yeah. You are overwhelmed by, you are exponentially overwhelmed by women, populated by women, but yet you're mainly controlled by men. And it's just a huge echo chamber. Even if you have a woman pastor, she still has a man pastor to answer to. So it's crazy. It's like, I don't understand. Excuse me. I don't understand why it's this way. Like, why is the church doing too much but yet not enough? It's just overly making men agreeable. It's like, no. Why would I marry a woman from the church when at any given moment she is a whistleblower? Meaning she'll tell her mother, her girlfriend, the church, the leaders in the church, all about what you did, as if she is your pastor. No. And men are so good at this, all we gotta do is just walk away. We're walking away from women. We're walking away from church. Why do we have to? The church has to appeal to black men. In particular, black men. The church has to appeal to black men. Because you're raising your young boys. The moment they begin to see things for themselves and realize it's a disconnect, they're gone. They are gone. The church has a marketing problem. So where do all these men go? They go to the Manosphere. The Manosphere is the new megachurch, mainly for men. Women come in these spaces and they learn a great deal of information about men and social dynamics. This is so important. It's just overwhelming. I watch the Manosphere like 5 out of 7 days a week. It's crazy. it's like they know exactly what I went through and they're telling their stories. And I'm like, yeah, it's informational, educational, and it's entertainment. It's like, as men, we were never trained or told how to operate in the world that we live in. How are we supposed to see what our fathers did when our fathers were never there? What type of woman should we choose? Because the dialogue is, what type of woman, what type of man should the woman choose? See, in church, the man got to go through 30 levels of clearance through the church to court a young lady. Not even marrying her. To court a young lady. The woman think all she got to, the woman don't believe for a second she got to qualify for him. She doesn't believe that. And the church doesn't perpetuate that at all. It's all on the man. And so if I got to go through 30 levels of clearance for this woman, what kind of woman am I getting? Oh, she's over 30. She's a single mother. Wait, what? She's not 140 pounds? She's not 130 pounds? She's not 120 pounds? Oh. Why am I doing this then? Yeah. Ladies, the bus is not coming. But no one is willing to tell you the truth. See, women just lie to other women. Well, why do you say that? It's because it's important to a woman to feel good. That's her number one objective, is to feel good. You know the other group of people that feel that way? Children. The man, it's not important to him to feel good. It's important to him to not feel bad. The difference is night and day. How the man conducts his life, the way how a woman conducts her life is night and day. The man can adapt through rejection, hatred. I was talking to my sister years ago. I opened up to her and I told her, I feel like I'm in the ministry me and her helped start with some other people. I feel this hostility in this basement. She was like, what do you mean? Okay, when I come in, it's just me and this other guy. And trust me, he's not special. He's a homemade simp. And I'm sitting there and just, they heard about the argument you had with your girlfriend because she got on the phone and told all of them. Because she's asking for prayer, but she told all of them. And you got to sit there through 5 hours of this hostility because you're a man. Okay. So I'm explaining this to my sister. My sister's response was, well, you just have to let them know how you feel. And I'm listening to this. I'm like, oh, yeah, that's the answer. That's the answer. The answer is let the women know how you feel. That's the answer. That's the answer. Oh, women lie to you so much. They lie to you so much. It's because they're giving you the answer as if you're a woman. See, men can't do that. They don't. I want to say they don't understand that, but they do. They do. They do. They do. I had an issue in the church with a visiting pastor. I went to my sister. I told her the problem. She said, you need to confront him. I did it. It didn't go well. When I went back to her, the first thing she said was, I didn't tell you to do that. I was like, no, you told me to. No. I didn't tell you to. This a-hole just lied to me. And like, she still holds to that. No, see, women give men advice as if they're women. They don't understand that you're a man and those same rules don't apply. They don't understand that. But yet they do understand it. So you're always, here's the answer. Don't dwell in areas where it is the majority women. This is why, men, you need to be careful who you marry, because you will become very quickly outnumbered in your own household that you're paying for. Be careful who you marry, because the woman you marry will be the same one turning your own children against you, and you still have to pay for all of it. Even if y'all separate or divorce, she will crush you in today's court system. This is why millions of men are like, what's the point of getting married? Because the same rules don't apply to men. The court system is geared against the man. Why get married? At any moment, she can say, I'm not happy, and then everything plummets. Everything plummets. Because the woman thinks it's your job to make her happy. That's not in the Bible nowhere. The Bible says, look to understand her. But it says nothing about happiness. As the man looks to understand her, she has to do the same to him. But that's not talked about in church. We were failed by our fathers. We were failed by the black church. This is why men, this is all we do, is come together. Women are more than welcome in the manosphere. But I tell you what, you better watch what you say. You better watch what you say. No. Today, modern man don't hold back punches the way our fathers did. Oh, no. No. We are so tired of being emasculated by our mothers, sisters, aunts, cousins, women supervisors, women pastors, and mega simps. No, this is crazy. And to them, this is all hate speech. To them, this is all hate speech. Oh, they hate women. No, it can't be because of us. No. They hate women. That's the root of it. This is crazy. Megachurches. The concept of the megachurch wasn't trendy until the 80s. And here we are, 40 years of megachurches, and it's like the mass majority of them numbers by women, and it's like, I get it, because the modern woman earns $40,000. Tithes and offering off of a $40,000 salary, that adds up quite nicely. We're not even talking about the 9% that earns $75,000 or more. We are talking about the average. Tithes and offering off of $40,000, that adds up real well. Yep. So here we are, men, just digitally encouraging, edifying, teaching, entertaining each other, because we have no one else to go to. We don't have a safe place. The last time I felt safe in church The last time I felt safe in church, I was a child. I was a child. I've been in church my whole life. The last time I felt safe in church, I was a child. So let's knock it off, okay? No. There is an undertone of hostility against men. A man has to be so much more in church to get average respect. The man essentially has to be President Obama to get overwhelming respect by women. If you're an average man, you are just, it's because they all feel like you gotta qualify for them. That's not how that works. The men you qualify for don't want you. So you badmouth the average guys. Baby boomers were statistically the last generation to accept unwed mothers as wives. They were the last generation. Well, we love each other, that's all that matters. That's the last time that was said. And the upper half of Generation X. Me on down, I was born in 77. Us on down, we don't think that way. No. How? Because we watched our fathers and we watched our older brothers and we saw the hell they caught. And it's like, so why would I want that? Why would I want a disagreeable, aggressive, masculine, overweight woman as a wife? Why? Oh, what? And she got cheap kids by other men? Why would I want that? No. The game has changed. Men cannot unknow everything they have heard over these past 2 years. The Manosphere has been going the last 3 to 5 years. But when COVID hit and men couldn't go outside, so we had to go inside. Yeah. It's a wrap. So, the Manosphere, the new megachurch. Enjoy.